what we do in the summer, we think is very unique in that it's a 7-week program. We typically kick off the last week in June and finish around the second or third week in August. As a main part of that process, one of the things that we try to do is really create we have a learning plan that's based around real community projects. So what we would do is every week projects, or we call them intern presentations or intern tasks, are due in order to help the students build up to the final project or the end of the year. Part of that is that, one, we work on rigor, meaning that the curriculum that we do is very rigorous. 2, we work on the alignment with the educational standards. We find this very important. And I think, and finally, we introduce the students to these professional fields of public health, planning, architecture, other fields like that we found that we were doing that we weren't even aware that we were doing, that folk came in and said, "Hey, Roland, you know, this is what I do," you know, and that was kind of intriguing. But we primarily focus in on those 3 areas. The ultimate result is to help the students to think critical. And when we found that students asked the question why, it began to generate another question and another question. But it wasn't, and it was the question that the student began to think about, but then it was trying to find the answer or the solution to that question. So that constant quest of thinking, 1 inside the box, 2 outside the box, is one of the things that we try to bring into the program. We really value our college mentors, and they really play a significant role in that they bring a skill set that the students, we call them high school student interns, or the student interns, really learn to appreciate and value midway in the program.
Last summer we were working on a community development project. As a college mentor, I had a group of 10 students, around 10 students. We did a lot of historical research. We identified political representatives and the relationship they had to our project site, which was Military Commons, located in Orange, New Jersey.
So those college mentors, when they come in, you know, they really initially see them as either their brothers, their cousins, you know, people that they know and they can relate to, and it's that language or that lingo that they talk that they identify with, and I really respect that.
Like how I conduct myself and how they see me, because they look at me differently, not only as, oh, you know, Miss Baez, because that's what they had to call me during the program, but as somebody, you know, if they have a problem, they definitely could come to me, and they have that relationship with me, and that, I guess, they're comfortable, nor are they scared because they look at me in a authoritative way, but more as, you know, she's my older sister, but I have respect for her and I look up to her, which definitely I think that was the best thing I got out of the program, the relationship I had with my students after the fact.
The program is a great opportunity for any child to experience a real life task of creating a vision for a city to redevelop a certain part of it. You know, it's not just about, oh, I want taller trees, or I want a gazebo. It's knowing why you want that and how it will benefit the community overall.
I came in as a sophomore in high school, and now I'm going into my junior year in college, and I have grown tremendously, and I have seen that over the years, and I'm still growing. So it's just like, if this can happen to me, it can happen to anybody else in my community, any student that's willing to come through the program and get the full experience that I had.
These are students that, when they just came in the summer, we know they were very strong the first marking period, and we saw, even though they were learning, it wasn't as, the growth curve really wasn't as significant as we would like to have seen it.
As a student, I know when I first came into the program, I was kind of like timid and shy, and I like giggled a lot.
I've been in this program probably since the 5th grade when I first met Mr. Whitley. I was one of the first students. I was working with another project where gifted, talented students, we was working on a program for future problem solving, and that was when I first met Mr. Whitley.
So when we picked him up in the 4th marking period, we noticed that those students' grades went back up. So I guess having an environment, what we do as an after-school program, really played a significant role in students' the academic achievement.
And now, even as a college student, I use the skills that I obtained throughout the program to help me, one, not only manage my time, but make sure that I have everything in alignment with my courses, as well as any extracurricular activities that I want to do.
Hanging around a raw crowd and just not really thinking. Mr. Whitley made it his business to come find me and to get me back on track. He called my mother, talked to her at her job, asking her what am I doing. At the time, nothing. Came back here, my grades started getting better. My writing started getting better. Basically, academics were improving.
What we believe is that if we're able to take these students throughout these marking periods, throughout the school year, we believe that we could take students, their achievement levels, with our impact throughout the school year. We think that we can take these students and really, really take students that were either at a C average or even a D average student and bring that student at least up. We've done it, 2 letter grades. So a C student to an A student, a D student to like a B student, it's quite significant. We've done it.
Then I was going through my high school life, having fun in high school. Grades started to slip again. Mr. Whitley stayed on me every year. Every time my grades went down, stayed on me, stayed on me. Now, as a senior, my grades have been better than they ever been. Throughout any year, working from this program. And I haven't been in this program in probably 2 years, but I still remember everything Mr. Whitley and the program taught me.
And if it wasn't for CTA, as far as summer goes, I mean, being young, it's very hard to find a job that really allows you to be who you are. It's hard to find a job when you're young anyway, because no one really wants to take the risk of hiring younger kids. With CTA, this is who they're aiming for. They're aiming for younger kids to get them ready for the real world. If it wasn't for them, you become a lifeguard, or you work in a fast food restaurant, or you'd just be vacant. You could study, but here, it's like they incorporate work in school, which is great because you keep your mind busy. You keep your mind working in all aspects. You never forget things. You don't cut off and then come back on. It's not a vacation, but yet it's not all hard work. It's a good thing to have. You learn how to write. You learn how to speak in front of people. And when you go back to school and you see people not really capable to do what you have done over the summer, it's good. When you can sit down and explain to someone what you've been through over the summer, how that helped you, and how that got you along in life. CTA has done great things. So over the summer, if I wasn't working with them, I'm pretty sure I really wouldn't be able to have a common knowledge of the professional world.